Today, I want to talk about burnout, about being just sick of it, about not being able to muster the energy, the stoke, the all of it. I think this is a pretty common experience. I think it happens to all of us. And I think that it's okay, that it's natural, that it's part of sort of the creative cycle. And I want to bring this to the forefront and talk about it because as photographers, it kind of seems like, oh, you're a photographer, that's your whole identity. Want to take my picture, let's go take pictures, picture. And sometimes that's really not the answer. Sometimes you just can't muster the energy to shoot. I notice when I'm personally getting burned out on photography, the whole industry, right? But specifically photography and my own personal shooting, when I just sort of stop taking pictures. And a month will go by and I'll be like, wow, I still have this roll in this camera? Like, I don't even remember what roll this is. When did I start this? What was I shooting? Why did I load this? You just sort of don't care to shoot anymore. And you know, I think there's stigma associated with being burnt out on something that's your hobby, that's your passion. It's like, well, yeah, I am passionate about it and I really enjoy it, but anything that you do full time, all the time, waking, you're dreaming about it, eventually you have to just stop. At some point, all the camera nerds, your people, my people, when they come to you with a question or they want to talk about the thing that's they're stoked about, you just, at some point, you can't even. At some point, you come to me here at my business and you want to ask me a question and I just want to cry about the fact that you exist and you're here talking to me. And that's another way I know that I'm just burnt out about it. I love camera nerds. You people are my people. But sometimes it just gets to be a little much. What kind of film should I shoot? Do you bulk roll? How do you bulk roll? What's bulk rolling? So what's the difference actually between Porta 400 and Porta 800, and which one should I use? So I remember calculating for reciprocity failure on that, but I forgot to include bellows extension. Do you think that'll ruin my film? It's enough to drive you just a little bit insane all the time. And listen, the first part of this is just admitting to yourself, like, listen, I'm burned out about this. I don't much care about it right now. I need to do something about that. Once you recognize that there's a problem, you can come up with a solution. So that's what we're talking about today, is my solutions and the steps that I like to take when I realize that I get burned out about stuff. Get burned out about being in the shop. Get burned out about taking pictures. Get burned out about people being able to contact me sort of at all. You ever get that? You just like, leave me alone. Do not disturb. That's what we're going to deal with today. So I have a couple of solutions, a couple of things that I do that help me. And we'll just go experience them and go live them in the real world as I go through this process. The first is I'm a big journaler, so I like to write stuff down. I like to journal it, get it out. I always carry with me in my wallet a little pocket notebook. And that is a great place to start when you're just ootin' a boot, like jotting down thoughts. And they make bigger versions. So if you want to sit down and like go a little more long form, you can go all the way to a proper sized notebook. I like to mix up my inputs and outputs, right? In this creative space, we do a lot of output. You're just continually just make stuff and put it out there and make stuff and put it out there and communicate with people, whatever. I like to switch that up. So when I'm burned out about stuff, I will just quit making for a period of time. I will quit putting out, so to speak, and instead try to intake things that are interesting, whether that's reading books, whether that's looking at photo books, sometimes like movies or YouTube channels or whatever, but I also find that that can just lead you down a rabbit hole where you shut your brain off and scroll through the YouTubes or the whatever, and you're not actually like gaining much inspiration. There are a couple of channels where I'll watch a video and like often get stoked on it, But generally speaking, I try to go low tech, right? Give me books. Give me time in a hammock outside, in the forest, in the wilderness. That can mean going to a different city or town or whatever, like vacation style, or it can mean carving out time for yourself to be in the same town that you live in and just go somewhere else. So I found a sweet little cabin that I can rent. I'm going to rent it for the week, and I'm just going to go do nothing except read and chill, maybe go for a hike, nap, like just shut off all the output and let myself just exist for a while and cultivate selective inputs. The time outside is key for me. I'm definitely an outside kind of person. And it doesn't have to be a week-long trip. It can be like a few hours of just like going out and having time to yourself and not listening to music and not being around other external sources. So we're going to do some of that. Yeah, sometimes you just got to change things up. I'm lucky, very fortunate that I can just take a week off. As long as everything at the shop is running and the people who work here who aren't me are doing their jobs and are rocking and rolling, I have the freedom to just leave. And we schedule our lives so that we have that ability. That's kind of a perk. We don't make a lot of money here, but we can just, like, if you need a month or a week or a day, just take it. It's fine. You know what I mean? So we're going to start by going to the old bookstore, getting the heck out of Dodge and seeing what we see just like down the street, maybe get a coffee. I like coffee. Coffee's good. And then we're going to go into the out of doors and go explore a little bit out there. And I'll show you kind of what my process will look like in decompressing from my own personal burnout and trying to find a solution by giving myself time to relax and just chill. So let's go do it. Actually, that sounds good. Ready? Go. Nothing like hammocking in the forest, Well, got a little journal time in, got the hammock set up. We're out here in the forest. A little closer to the highway than I'd probably like, but I don't have to hike miles and miles into this spot. I could just drive right up to it, so there are trade-offs. This is pretty much what my life is going to look like for the next while. I'm just gonna chill, read, decompress, nap, hammock, and learn how to let myself be okay with that. And be okay with not being productive and not being at the shop and not. Just gonna chill and relax. Give yourself the opportunity to do that. And while you're at it, since you're here in the YouTubes anyway, drop me a comment down below. What is it that you like to do to decompress, to recharge, to find inspiration? I'm curious to hear what your solutions are, because this, as you can see, is an ongoing process, and I'm still learning my way through it. But yeah, drop us a line in the comments, and I guess I'll see you in a week, more or less.